So, the Astronomer CEO, Byron, resigned following the Coldplay incident where he was all hugged up with his HR leader, and they were both on the Jumbotron. Now, people are like, oh, Coldplay did them dirty. This isn't Coldplay, man. They were so emboldened. If I was this dude and I'm her, there's no way I could have gone to anywhere. If I went to a Coldplay concert, I'm going to a Coldplay concert in another state. Because you don't know who's walking around. Is hey Jimmy, ain't that your friend's mom hooked up with some other dude that's not your dad? Or say, Molly, isn't that your dad's friend? Anybody could have seen them. It wasn't just Coldplay. It was just like, it's almost like Karma said, I need to expose y'all. Because y'all doing dirty. So Top Girl Kiko reposted this, and she said he had to resign. When the CEO engages in a relationship with a subordinate, it violates workplace ethics and exposes the company to legal risk. Firing her would be considered retaliation and therefore grounds for a lawsuit. First of all, they were both dirty. They're both married. And they both knew the rules. She's the HR leader. She probably wrote the handbook. I don't understand when you say, oh, well, you can't fire her. It's retaliation. Dude, I'm sure I'm sure somebody did the same thing at work, and she told them, you guys can't be dating. It's wrong. We're going to have to let you go. I bet you she fired somebody over there. She's an HR leader. So if he had to resign, she got to resign too. And plus, if you work at that job and she's still leading HR, how can you take her seriously? How can she wag her finger at y'all or tell you the rules and ethics? And she's looking at you, she was like, chick, wasn't you mess around with the boss? No. Either she gets fired or she got to resign. You can't say he was wrong and she wasn't wrong. They were both married and they both did wrong. The crazy thing is, if this was 30 years ago, they probably would have got away with it. Back then, 30 years ago, that Mad Men era back in the 60s, people cheated. They cheated with secretaries. They cheated with a co-worker. And people knew. Just like with these two, people knew what was going on. People knew. People gossiped. They knew what was going on. But back then, you might have got reprimanded. They might say, hey, man, cool it. I know your wife. Like, you need to stop this. Like, I think they would be giving warnings or it kind of fizzled out. But everybody would know. The problem with this is whenever you fire a CEO, they just say, okay, we'll just get somebody else. That's easier said than done. You got to find the person. Now, again, I don't know anything about this company. But if he was the brains of that operation, that's hard to duplicate. Like, for instance, this is a different situation. Tim Cook over at Apple, after Steve Jobs died, Apple's making tons of money, right? Financially, Apple is great. But creatively, Tim Cook is not Steve Jobs. When Steve Jobs was alive, it felt like in the 2000s, they came up with a new product almost every year, almost like every year and a half, there was like a new Apple product. And since then, they've done okay with stuff, but they haven't been the same since Jobs died. But financially, they're great, right? But Tim Cook isn't Steve Jobs. Now, again, I don't know Andy Byron, but if he was the nuts and bolts of that operation, that's just hard to replace, man. So for their sake, I hope they're able to find a new CEO. And Andy Byron, if he's connected, he'll probably, they probably paid him off. He'll probably sit around for a while, and when the smoke clears, he'll find another job or start another company. He'll be fine. He's a white guy, he's a CEO. He'll be fine. So what do you guys think? Do you think he should have resigned? Do you think they should have kind of let the winds die down some when this was no longer a hot topic? Or do you think he did the right thing by resigning? And what do you think should happen to her? Do you think it's right that he resigned and she stays put? Do you think that she also should resign? Do you think she should be fired? And what do you guys think about the whole dating in the workplace? It's hard to have people work together 8 hours a day and not hook up. Now, they're different. Like, they were married. And to me, even if he didn't resign, he's going to catch it at home. Like, every day. And to be honest, I think he would rather be at work than to be at home every day with the wife. Because the wife will no longer trust him. And we don't know if she's going to divorce him. People say, oh, she's going to get divorced. Sometimes not. Sometimes some marriages, man, they weather the storm. Like Hillary Clinton never divorced Bill Clinton. Like sometimes some people just weather the storm and they work it out. And then sometimes some people do get divorced. But man, if I was him, I would have said, y'all going to have to fire me because I am not going home. I am not. It is far safer for me at the job than to be around my wife. Like, you don't understand. She hates that. She wants to kill me. And the same thing with the HR professional, man. Her husband, man, he probably gone golfing with that dude. He probably went to Christmas parties with that guy. Yeah, we all focusing on him, but what about her? Her kids gotta look at her like, oh, mom, him? So what do you guys think, man? Do you think it was a good idea that he resigned? Or do you think he should have weathered the storm and they both got reprimanded and maybe he could have stayed? But in 2025, that's kind of hard to do. But I feel like both should be gone, not just one person.